There was once a man named Job who lived in the land of Uz. Job was a good and faithful man. He honored God, turned away from evil, and lived a life of integrity. God had blessed him greatly. He had a large family, many possessions, and was respected by everyone around him. Job had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned thousands of sheep, camels, oxen, and donkeys. He had servants and wealth beyond measure. Yet, even with all he had, Job remained humble. Every day he prayed for his children, asking God to protect them and forgive them in case they had sinned without realizing it. One day in the heavenly realm, Satan came before God. God spoke proudly of Job, saying that there was no one like him on earth, blameless, upright, and faithful. But Satan questioned Job's faith. He claimed that Job only served God because he was blessed, and that, if everything were taken away, Job would surely turn against him. God allowed Satan to test Job, but only within limits. Satan could take away what Job had, but he could not harm Job himself. Soon after, tragedy struck. In one single day, messengers came running to Job with terrible news. His oxen were stolen. His servants were killed. Fire fell from the sky and burned his sheep. Raiders took his camels. Then the worst news of all came: a strong wind had collapsed. The house where Job's children were gathered, and all 10 of them were gone. Job had lost everything. Overwhelmed with grief, Job fell to the ground and tore his robe. He shaved his head in mourning. Yet instead of cursing God, Job worshipped him. He said, "I came into this world with nothing, and I will leave with nothing. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Even after all this, Job did not sin or blame God. Satan returned again before God and argued that Job was still faithful only because his health had been spared. God then allowed Satan to strike Job's body but not to take his life. Soon Job was covered with painful sores from head to toe. He sat in ashes, scraping his skin with broken pottery. His suffering was unbearable. His own wife told him to curse God and give up. But Job refused. He said, "Should we accept good from God and not trouble as well?" 3 of Job's friends came to visit him: Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they saw Job, they hardly recognized him. They wept and sat with him in silence for 7 days, seeing how great his pain was. When Job finally spoke, he did not curse God, but he cried out in sorrow. He questioned why he had been born. He poured out his pain honestly. His friends, however, believed Job must have sinned to deserve such suffering. They accused him and urged him to repent. But Job knew he had done nothing wrong. He defended his integrity and continued to trust God. Even though he did not understand why this was happening, he said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." For many chapters, Job and his friends argued back and forth. Subscribe for part 2.